What's up, besties? Welcome to Dynasty 365. It is Fantasy and Frames Wednesday. Guys, I am here tonight. I've got Tyler Heil, I've got Jorge Edwards, and we are doing our deep dive into the rookie quarterback class of 2024. Jorge, give me that music. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Guys, if you are in the chat, if you're watching online, make sure to throw us your questions in that chat, please. Questions, comments, whatever you want, pop it on in there and we will get to it. Guys, how's your week?
Oh man, it's awful actually, but I'm here now, so it's better.
I feel the same. Jorge, how about you?
Yeah, I think we're running the trifecta with this. It's one of those things where finally my outlet has arrived.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt earlier today. I came home and I was like, all right, finally, like the best part of my day is about to happen in a couple hours. So, yes. All right. So before we get into it, I wanted you guys to tell me something good for this week, something bad for this week, or annoying. And then something that you learned this week. We're going to be a little, introspective. So who wants to start? Do you guys want to do we can rock, paper, scissors for it, or you just want to be adults and go for it?
So is this is everything on the table? In life?
Anything's on anything that you want is on the table.
Okay. I'll kick us off. Tell you one good thing from this week. Mm-hmm. I learned that the act of dry needling, where a physical therapist sticks an actual needle into a specific area into your muscle, actually really helps with range of motion exercises. So that was a fun fact. Something bad or annoying from the week is that there are two trains of thought when it comes to dry needling and physical therapy. One is where you just leave the needle in there for 10 minutes, let it do its thing, let the muscles recover that way. And then there's another train of thought where the therapist goes like this with the needle into your muscle, repeatedly stabbing you back and forth. And that is what I had to experience. So that was not awesome. And I guess that kind of wraps up giving me something I learned, that dry needling can and cannot suck, apparently. So,
Tyler, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I'll go. I think I got two of each.
Yes.
So something good from the week. Mm-hmm. It's combine time. This is my absolute favorite time of the year. All the players are getting out there. We're getting measurements. We know what we're looking at. And this is really when draft season kicks into gear for me. So I'm excited about that. The other thing good that's on a personal level, I have to go move my wife's grandmother out of her house in Asheville this weekend. And I get to take her golf cart.
Oh, yes.
So I get to drive a golf cart around my neighborhood when I take my kids to the pool in the summer. So I'm pretty jacked up about that.
That's
or when you're severely messed up from drinking and just wanting to go on a joyride around your neighborhood.
We'll see. One of my good friends in the neighborhood is a police officer. So I don't know how well he deals with that.
Yeah, good call.
It still counts. It still counts. Are you going to pimp it out?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
You better believe it. I'm ripping the golf rack off the back. I'm putting seats on. There are string lights around the top. I'm putting a sound system in it. I'm doing
bigger wheels. You can jack it up.
That's what I'm hoping for, yes. I need to price all this out. I don't want to get too aggressive.
I have a friend of mine who is she takes her kids to school in the golf cart and then she gets around the car line that way.
Ooh.
Yeah, genius.
Very smart.
Yeah, she said all the parents give her dirty looks when she does it, but she didn't care.
That's awesome. I learned something else, actually. Do you mind if I drop this one in there? Because I think a lot of people can actually relate to this one. As awesome as sticking a needle in one's knee and driving around in a golf cart is. For those of you who do not know, or at least those in the United States, it's Girl Scout cookie season. And so, these cookies are, I know, Tyler, they're super addictive. But our own rep manual here from Fourth and France, which you can catch in the next hour, was giving me shit about how dare you fall for that gimmick? I'm like, gimmick, I'm supporting these people. Like, whatever. He's
young
like, no.
entrepreneurs, young female entrepreneurs. Come on.
Yes, exactly. Shame on you, Rhett. Just giving you a hard time. He was giving me a hard time because he's like, look, if you go to Walmart and buy their $2 package like equivalents, they taste just the same as Girl Scout cookies. So I'm like, on Saturday, I'm a scientist. I'm going to go do some experimenting. I'm going to go check this out. You know what? He's 100% right. They taste exactly like Girl Scout cookies, except instead of paying $5 a box, you're paying $2 a package.
So dangerous.
Because they're bigger, you get more of them. It is heaven in a box for $2.
What kind though? That needs to be clarified.
Tagalogs, Thin Mints, like the equivalents of Tagalogs, Thin Mints, Samoas. I forget what the other kind are, but those are the 3 top ones right there.
I mean, those are the 3 best.
Well, I mean, the one thing I will say is I'm still going to support the Girl Scouts. Good for them. You know who I'm not going to support? It's those freaking Boy Scouts who sell you garbage popcorn in a bag for $20 fucking dollars. They can go jump off a damn bridge. I'm not buying shit from the Boy Scouts.
That's fantastic.
So I guess that was kind of my
That's good.
Yeah, what's your annoying thing from this week?
My annoying thing is just reading all of the people, including local Cleveland people and national media people, that are like, "Oh man, Nick Chubb's gonna get cut." Like, first of all, no, he's not. He's the heart and soul of the Browns. But if anyone has paid attention, the NFL salary cap has gone absolutely bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
It was 224, almost 225 million this year. They're projecting it to be 238 this year. It's 255. It's ridiculous. The Browns already have $2 million in cap space, and they haven't even touched Deshaun Watson's contract yet. So that's exciting. The Saints are in a decent salary cap position because the cap went up so much. The Bills are the ones that are actually screwed right now. I feel like we're living in an alternate universe.
That's how the Saints keep getting away with it.
Yeah, they just keep kicking the can down the road, keep kicking the can down the road. I mean, granted, they're paying Taysom Hill $16 million, but damn it, they're going to get under salary cap.
Backup QB, it's the best job in the world.
Jake Hayner is their backup QB.
Backup. Well, I mean, I guess he's their 3rd string QB.
Their best looking QB.
He's their most photogenic, for sure.
For sure.
Most photogenic. All right, what'd you learn this week?
No, I learned that Brian Thomas is real fast. Watching a little Jaden Daniels, this dude is just, he makes everyone else look like they're standing still. It's wild. I'm pretty excited for him.
Nice. All right, so my good thing for this week was that I booked my flight for the expo. So booked my flight, got my hotel done. I'm like, it's February. I've got all of it done, and I'm so proud of myself, and I can't wait. Yeah. Come on, Tyler. Come on. You're gonna wait till the last minute because that is who you are as a person.
I know, but I can't wait till the last minute on the hotel. It's probably already sold out.
Yeah. Well, better use those Marriott points.
There you go.
Wait, isn't everyone? Oh God! All right, we need to discuss this.
No, I'm a
DoubleTree this year.
Yeah, Team DoubleTree.
Okay.
That bar was amazing. I want to be able to go to the bar and then just go up to my room and not have to worry about getting back to my hotel.
Be able to go to the bar, wait 45 minutes for a White Claw, and then go up to your room.
Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly what we want to do. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I'll tell you what else I want to do. There's some things I want to do differently. Like, I was not a fan of the karaoke from what I saw from the videos at the DoubleTree, but there's this spot apparently everybody else goes to for karaoke. Yes. It's got a dive bar. I want to go there.
The after party.
Exactly. And then apparently there's this place called Samantha's that has like a killer Eggs Benedict. If you're in the Eggs Benedicts, definitely have to hit that place up. Although, man, to pass on an opportunity to see a fight go down at Waffle House, that is, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see.
My annoying thing from this week. So, Tyler, you have on a baseball jersey right now. It is spring training, guys. That is also a good thing. However, every year I take a mental health day in the middle of the week and I take myself to a Braves spring training game. And I have done that every year since I was in law school. Okay, I like to go in the middle of the week. I like to just show up. I like to go by myself. And I like to go sit, with a bunch of old men and and just talk, like eat a hot dog, drink a beer, and talk baseball with a bunch of old dudes. That's what I enjoy every year. And this year, I can't do that because my calendar is so crazy in March that I can't find a day. And now that the Braves moved all the way down to like Northport, that's like a 2-hour drive for me. They used to be in Orlando, which was, right down I-4. So anyway, that's my annoying thing from this week is that I'm just really bummed that my streak is gonna end. But
I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds like a great day though.
It does. This is my favorite thing. Like this is way, way back when I was in law school at Stetson in St. Petersburg. I would drive across the bridge from Tampa to go to school. And the Rays used to do their spring training in St. Pete down by where Tropicana Field is. And I don't think that stadium's even there anymore. But I would go before class and just get like a lawn ticket and just go sit, in the grass for a couple hours before I went to class. And it was amazing. It was wonderful. So I love spring training. It's the best time.
So Calvin's got an interesting good, bad, and something he learned this week. Kind of interesting towards the end. Here, let's see what Calvin has to say.
Yeah.
He's good. He's got a new lawnmower. Bad, mom diagnosed with schizophrenia. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. Learned I'm the only one who thinks Xavier Worthy is next year's Tyreek Hill. That is you just covered the gamut there, sir. That is well, congrats on the new lawnmower. Really sorry to hear about your mom. Hope you all figure out a good plan there for her. Always keep positivity around. And Xavier Worthy is the next Tyreek. We shall see, shall we?
I was going to do something else for what I learned this week, but since we brought up Tyreek Hill, I saw 2 different news stories about him today. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but he's being sued by a model who says that he broke her leg while doing football drills at his house. It is the most bizarre story. I couldn't even make that up if I tried. And then
I'm gonna need you to repeat that.
Yeah. So this model is suing him for breaking her leg because they were doing football drills in his backyard and he came at her too hard and broke her leg.
That's what she said.
Right.
That's what
I don't know.
Mom, I can't do it.
I don't know. And then I also saw another story that he had his 7th child today with his 4th baby mama, and the inner family law attorney in me was like, man, I cannot imagine your child support, buddy. Oof.
Well, doesn't he live in Florida?
He does.
Try to get one of them as a client.
Oh, man, that's true. I really need to be thinking outside the box. We got to get some of these Miami girls. Anybody who is pregnant with Tyreek Hill's soon-to-be child, hit me up. Let me know. I got you. We can get some child support for you. Don't you worry. On that note, maybe we should talk about some real football tonight, guys. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Oh, there's our Dynasty Deviant. Chris, we miss you so much. We love and we miss you. We can't wait till you are back with us. Guys, last week we bought a Dynasty team. We named it the first round pick QB graveyard because all of our QBs on this particular team, all of them I think were first round picks, right? And they all with the exception of Jalen Hurts kind of sucks.
I think actually we realized that they're mostly second, but we already decided on first round picks because it sounds like a better name.
It does.
Just go with that.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that, guys. For those of you that's watching, I just pulled up on the screen our roster, and that way you can take a look at our roster. For those of you who are listening, I'm gonna go through it real quick, just to give you guys some updates on what occurred right after we bought the team because we had a trade request and we actually went through with it, and so I just want to go through and talk about our process there and kind of what we thought we were going to do with the team in the future. So QBs, and this is a super flex, guys. Super flex dynasty, best ball. So our QBs are Derek Carr, Jimmy G, Jalen Hurts, Trey Lance, Kenny Pickett. Our running backs, we've got Deuce Vaughn, Alexander Madison, CEH, Jeff Wilson, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon. At wide receiver, we've got Chris Godwin, Kendrick Bourne, DJ Moore, Justin Jefferson, Hollywood Brown, Jaden Reed, Brandon Cooks. At tight end, we have got Juwan Johnson, Tyler Higbee. And then over at kicker, we've got Jason Sanders, Evan McPherson, and we have got the Buffalo defense because this is a league that does that. Also, this is a tight end premium league. So this is through the FFPC. So those of you that play there know that this is tight end premium. So right after we bought this team, we log into the little dashboard, and what's waiting for us there is a trade request, right? So what we were being offered was Justin Jefferson. They wanted to give us Justin Jefferson and Jaden Reed for our first round pick, which I want to say that one was the 105. The 105 and Kyle Pitts, who we used to have as well. So we smashed that. That was an immediate smash for us. We thought that was a great deal. Considering also that we still have three second round picks as well. And we kind of shored up our wide receiver room. But like, what do you guys think about this? Do you think that we should do something with Justin Jefferson? Do you think we should try to move him, maybe get like a better quarterback? Like, what do you guys think about that?
Well, Tyler,
I'm not moving Justin Jefferson personally for a better quarterback. I'm going to let the combination of Kenny Pickett and Derek Carr figure it out for that second quarterback spot.
That doesn't feel dirty.
Yeah, but you know what feels really dirty? Trading Justin Jefferson. That's fair.
There was a nice little note in the chat right after we hit that trade, and there was some salty people up in there talking about what a lopsided trade it was. And you know what? Not my problem.
Exactly.
Not my problem.
I will say with Tyler Higbee tearing his ACL so late in the season, in the playoffs even, I believe, that is a little bit of concern at the tight end position and wondering who you're going to get. I mean, in the second round that could possibly fill in. Maybe you'll find that out next hour in the Fourth and Frame Super Flex mock that we're doing. But I think the important thing is here, what set this team apart from last week is that the draft picked assets are really comprehensive. And look, we already used one to get Justin Jefferson and Jaden Reed. I mean, it's pretty solid haul right there.
Yeah, I think so too. And guys, the draft for this team starts in May. So we'll know, at that point, where everybody's landing spot is for the rookies and be able to kind of, go from there and see who we want to add to this team.
I feel pretty good about the possibility of getting a Jatavian Sanders in the second round. I feel pretty good about several of these running backs that are going to be available in the second round. And I mean, there's still going to be a plethora of wide receivers. So it's a good year to have a second round pick, in my opinion. Now, am I saying that the second round wide receivers are better than those top three? No, absolutely not. But it's a good year to have a lot of darts to throw at the board.
Mm-hmm. Who's the first person you want to cut from this team?
Trey Lance.
Whoa.
I was going to say Deuce Vaughn or Dalvin.
Yeah. I don't think Dalvin Cook's ever going to be useful again.
Was he useful this year?
No.
Yeah.
For 16 yards, he was for Baltimore. That's about all he had in that one game.
I forgot he went to the Ravens.
That's what I did too. When I saw that, I was like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. That happened. Yeah.
No, yeah, the first person I would probably cut is Dalvin Cook or Deuce Vaughn or just the kickers. Actually, the kickers are good. I just hate having kickers.
I know. We have to, though, in this league. So at least we have some good ones.
Yeah, I know. Begrudgingly roster the kickers.
Yeah. That's okay, though. They only take up 2 spots. They're fine. All right, guys. So now what everybody is here for tonight, let me take our roster off the sheet. There we go. All right, guys. So we are going to get into some of these rookie quarterbacks. So what we're doing tonight, we're going to do rookie rankings review. So if you guys didn't know already, on fantasyandframes.com, you can go onto our website, get our rankings, not even just for rookies, but for, Dynasty, for Redraft, but any of that stuff like their IDP rankings. Guys, those are on there for free. So if you're looking for rankings right now, go on there, take a look. Keep in mind, these are fluid. These are constantly changing with news cycles. They're constantly changing when the draft comes around. When combine stuff happens after this weekend, I'm sure we'll be updating them then. And then before the season. So these are all up to date, current as today. I think, Jorge, you finished yours up today, you and Drew.
Yep, that is correct.
All right, guys. So like I said, you can go on to fantasyandframes.com and find those. So Jorge and Drew Scott, with Fourth and Frames, did some rookie rankings for specifically what we're looking at tonight are the quarterbacks. So our consensus rankings, and we're just going to go down what the consensus rankings have. We're going to be talking about these players, whether or not we would be ranking them at that specific, spot or moving them somewhere else. I'm just kind of getting in some, like I said, just our first look at these rookie guys, at least this first look for me. I don't know about you guys, but like I've avoided watching college football all season until literally this week was the first time that I started watching all these players. I didn't even know what some of these guys looked like until we started watching film today.
That's a lot. You knew what Sam Hartman looked like, don't lie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course I knew what Sam Hartman looked like. I mean, come on. We'll get to Sam Hartman. I don't want to spoil it. I know everyone's tuning in for the Sam Hartman takes. Guys, don't worry, we will not disappoint you. But first and foremost, guys, Jorge, you and Drew have your consensus rankings. Number 1, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. So so my thought process is for these rookie rankings, we're looking at this from a fantasy point of view, not from an NFL prospect point of view. Yeah. So I have Daniels first, Drew has him second. So I mean we're pulling strings here from that regard. I just look from a fantasy standpoint, give me that rushing upside.
Yeah.
Give me that rushing upside, hands down. People will draw comparisons to other mobile quarterbacks will get drawn compared to other mobile quarterbacks. And so seeing as how one of the most, I almost said prolific, one of the most near and dear, that's not even true, near and dear. But one of the quarterbacks I'm going to compare Jaden Daniels to is Robert Griffin III. And not just so much in what he did in his skill set, but what he compensated for. Before Robert Griffin III arrived in Washington, Washington's offensive line was atrocious. It was just horrible. And coincidentally, that's been a recurring theme for many years. But anyhow, Robert Griffin III's ability to make plays with his legs kind of covered up some of the deficiencies that the offensive line had, and currently still has. But you look at Jaden Daniels, he could provide that same type of cover up in terms of covering up the an offensive line's deficiency, whether he's with the Bears, which the offensive line not great, whether he's with the Commanders, not that great. Any of the top picks teams in the NFL draft, their offensive lines are not exactly great. So he presents a lot of upside with his scrambling ability. We all know that's the cheat code for fantasy football quarterbacks. And if he has some semblance of protection, the guy is great throwing the ball deep. He's great throwing the ball intermediate, 10 to 19 yards. I mean, give me all the Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I really actually have him as my number 1 quarterback so far. And like I said, guys, this is without like having watched any film throughout the season. This is just kind of first glance. And, all these things could definitely change after the, combine, after the draft, where they land, that kind of thing. But I really liked Jaden Daniels. Obviously great dual threat. And I didn't feel like he was too cavalier about using his legs. I feel like he ran with a purpose. And I've seen a lot of people out there saying that, he takes, unnecessary risks and, because he's so thin that could be a real problem for him in the NFL. I do obviously agree that he is one of the thinner guys. I mean, he's 6'4", so he's one of the taller guys in this quarterback draft. And he comes in at 210. I guess we'll see what he weighs in at the combine, if he does weigh in at the combine. I don't think he's throwing at the combine. I think I saw that he's going to throw at the LSU Pro Day. Mm-hmm. But, just super athletic, great balance, great agility, change in direction on a dime, and just really quality production. Also, his completion rate in 2023 was 71%, which is one of the highest out of this group. So I thought he was super dynamic, a lot of fun to watch, competitive. Like I said, just one of my favorite players, just stood out to me the most out of really any of these guys that we're going to talk about tonight.
going back to some of these prospects, these are not great teams that are picking at the top of your draft. And so one of the things I like to look at when I'm looking at numbers for players is not just their overall stats. It's like, how are they when they're under pressure? Like, where do they line up? And so Jaden Daniels is one of the top quarterbacks in this draft with having a adjusted completion percentage, which basically just means, the percentage of passes that are actually on target that get into tight windows that you hope to have out of a quarterback. And so to have such a high adjusted completion percentage when under pressure tells you volumes about whether he's under pressure, blitzed, or he's just protected in the pocket. This guy delivers.
I just also wanted to say, this is one of my not serious takes. Earlier, when I was doing my research, I looked at JJ McCarthy first, and I thought, my God, these Michigan helmets are one of the ugliest things I've ever seen in my life. But then I saw the Arizona State uniforms, that yellow, and I got to tell you, I could not watch any more footage of him in those uniforms, and I had to switch to the LSU. I was like, this is just burning my eyes. I can't do it anymore.
I couldn't watch any more football of Jaden Daniels in Arizona State uniform either because he played so terribly.
That's fair.
Arizona State. Forks up, people, for those who are Arizona State fans. Forks up.
Hey, sorry. I mean, I guess having Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas does wonders for you.
It doesn't hurt.
No. Could be worse.
I'll just say Jaden Daniels is not currently my quarterback one.
Where is he? Where does he rank for you?
He's my quarterback 3 currently.
Okay. All right.
I'm not just throwing him down the rankings for no reason. I watched him play too this year. It was very, very impressive.
Yeah.
But everyone always seems concerned about 23 and 24-year-old rookies until they're not for some reason. I don't know. That one I can't explain. But he played really well this year. I just still remember watching Rachaad White film 2 years ago and being like, man, who is this quarterback? He is not very good. And I saw it was Jaden Daniels. And then I saw him that he was playing really well at LSU. I'm like, wait, is that the same guy? Because obviously, like you, Stacey, I am, I watch all of my college football in February and really get to know these guys by watching their film. And I watched a few Brian Thomas games and a couple Jaden Daniels games, and I am very excited about him. We will see where he ends up once it comes time for the draft.
I want to see, if he does nothing else at the combine this weekend, I just want to see him run the 40. Like that's the only thing I care about. Taylor, I just want to go back to your comment about, his age, right? He's 23. Mm-hmm. Do you think that has something to do with, let's say, he's drafted in the first round, which he'll definitely be drafted in the first round. He gets that 4-year contract with 5th-year option. At that point, he's looking at 28, 29 years old before he gets a second contract. Like, that seems a little bit, you're getting towards that, age 30, where you fall off a cliff because you're so old.
Yeah, but quarterback is different. Even with the athletic quarterbacks, they still maintain enough athleticism to be dangerous. It's not like a wide receiver or running back where you have to be at your absolute peak because you're going against these freak show linebacker and DBs every single time you touch the ball, and you simply just have to be faster than them. Yeah. Quarterbacks they need to have functional athleticism that can get them out of situations and be a positive for the team and turn those negative plays, potential sacks into even a positive 3-yard gain. That's the most important part of quarterback athleticism. You can look at people like Lamar Jackson, who are freak show athletes that were just amazing for the first 4 years of his career, but that's not even Lamar anymore. Right. He's at a little weight, but he still has plenty of athleticism to turn those negatives into a positive. So that the age doesn't really concern me for quarterbacks. It never has for me personally. I'm just wondering why all of a sudden it's not a big deal for anyone else now.
Yeah. Young and old, Tyler likes them all.
I don't discriminate, Stacey. Don't worry.
Nope, does not discriminate. That noted. All right, so Jaden Daniels, my number 1, Jorge's number 1, Tyler's number 3. Let's move on to consensus ranking fantasy and frames. Number 2 would be Caleb Williams from Oklahoma first, and then USC. Go for it, Jorge.
Well, I was about to sing the song Oklahoma from the musical Oklahoma.
Ooh, that's okay. Not necessary. That's fine.
That's okay. Hard pass. Sorry. Caleb Williams. Yeah. So, look.
You took the floor and then just feeded it immediately.
Yeah. Well, I was going down a different route. Clearly, one of the things about Caleb Williams that again is really impressive is going back to that metric I was talking about, the adjusted completion percentage when under pressure. Him and Jaden Daniels are right there neck and neck. You look at the volume and passing attempts when under pressure, 102 passing attempts, yet having an adjusted completion percentage of 62%. That's like right there at the top of all draft eligible quarterbacks. What is a knock to me, however, is a couple things. One is, he's not really the most fleet of foot, quarterback. Yes, he can scramble and get some yards, but you're really relying on him to make, play action passes or just, staying in the pocket. And something I didn't like is the number of pressures allowed he was responsible for last year, 39. That's like right up there near the top of quarterback prospects. And so for fantasy, again, we're talking about this from a fantasy perspective, not from a NFL player perspective. If he goes to the Bears, if he goes to the Commanders, like, is he going to spend more time on his ass than he's going to be making plays? Like, that's a huge concern there. Jaden Daniels, I feel he's more apt to escaping pressure than Caleb is. And that's really the linchpin there of why I'm having him at 2 versus him being the number 1 overall.
Yeah. I mean, he's my number 2 overall, but I got to tell you, so like I said, like, I don't start watching college football until now, and I don't watch college football, like, period. So, obviously I know who Caleb Williams is and everything now, everything I'm hearing right over the last couple of years is like, oh my God, he's just generational quarterback. He's the best quarterback, we've ever seen. And I got to tell you, I don't know if this is just like a hot take or not. I was not really all that impressed with his footage that I watched. And I tried to watch several games because I just kept trying to look for like, what is everybody seeing here that's like just, I mean, it's not, hold on. I'm not like saying that I don't think that he's bad or anything like that. I don't, not at all. He's my number 2. But I just wasn't like as blown away as I expected to be coming into all this. But I don't know. I mean, I saw too some of the, stuff around on the internet that like, after his numbers kind of fell off this year, weren't as good as, his 2022, numbers. And, when I went back through and looked at it, he started 36 college games and only in 6 of those games did he put up under 200 yards. So you know what? I mean, I still think that's pretty good. Like, I don't know really how you can complain about that. But Jorge, I mean, I kind of felt like you did, like, he was kind of like mid, runner, put up some running numbers, probably better than most of the guys that we're going to talk other than Jaden Daniels talk about tonight. But, when he does run, he's fast. I mean, he looks like a starting NFL quarterback out there when you see him. I just wasn't like blown away, like, oh my God, this is the best quarterback I've ever seen in my entire life. So anyway, it's Caleb Williams. Like, he's going to be 1 or 2 probably in most people's rankings.
Yeah. I don't want to, out of fear of saying this, I'm concerned a little bit about his height.
Yeah, he's only 6'1". Only 6'1".
According to, he's 6'1" according to Player Profiler.
Ooh, is he? Or is he? He's not like Bryce Young size, right?
No.
There was somebody on Twitter yesterday who's like, I just ran into Caleb Williams, and he's taller than Bryce Young, but not by much. But he's more built than Bryce Young. So
yeah, he's a little thicker, right? He's like 215, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about his size. I think his build is solid enough for the NFL, but his height does concern me. It really helps to be able to see some of these extra passing windows. I mean, if you look at the top dynasty quarterbacks right now, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, C.J. Stroud, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Anthony Richardson, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence. None of them are below 6'2", and most of them are above 6'3".
Yeah.
So not that it's going to bury him. He's still my QB1 right now. I want to see where he actually comes in because I think it might be closer to 6 foot, maybe just under.
Yeah.
But we'll see. There's still a lot of information to be gleaned here. And as long as he doesn't go to the Commanders and have the Cliff Kingsbury anchor weighing him down again this year, I think he should be all right.
Is this what I mean? Like I hear that's why Kingsbury went to the Commanders, like why he like blew off the Raiders and like went to the Commanders was that he just was like dying to get his hands on Caleb Williams.
I think so. That's probably why.
As he is now my team's offensive coordinator, I will not tolerate any Cliff Kingsbury slander. Was he a great head coach? No. Did he turn the offense around for Arizona? Absolutely.
No.
Also, hold
for 50% of his time in Arizona, for 2 years out of the 4, he was a fantastic offensive play caller. That's not.
That's not his house.
That's not his house.
It's not. Oh, someone got rid of my backgrounds.
Right, I had to clear a shot.
Oh. Well.
Did you watch the 2022 Arizona Cardinals offense?
I said
disjointed.
I said 50%. 50% of his 4 years.
Yeah, 50% is right because he was sitting there before every play flipping a freaking coin. Then should I run or pass? I don't know. It was the most disjointed mess of an offense I've ever seen. It pissed me off to no end. It was a disaster. Go back and watch it. It really, really was. I'm sorry, Jorge.
No end. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Oh my goodness. I think Calvin is with us there. Calvin actually does enjoy college football, unlike 2 of the 3 of us over here, and was way more impressed with Penix than Williams. We'll talk about Michael Penix here in just a little bit. That might be the Longhorn fan in you. We understand. So, all right. So, Caleb Williams, number 1 for Tyler, number 2 for me. Jorge, where does he fall for you? Number 2?
Number 2.
Yeah. Number 2. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, Caleb Williams, everybody. You're probably going to be drafting him this year. I think that's safe to say, right? Safe to say.
That's a fair assumption. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go on to the team with the ugly helmets. That would be JJ McCarthy from Michigan.
I've never heard this take before.
The ugly helmet. Those helmets are hideous with the yellow stripes. Those are awful.
I kind of like them.
No, they're tacky, and I feel like they could do better.
You're tacky.
Tyler, you're an Ohio person. Do you refer to you're an Ohio person? Do you refer to them as the team up north or Michigan?
Michigan.
Okay.
I'm the wrong person to ask. I hate Ohio State.
That would be why. Okay.
All right, so JJ McCarthy coming in at number 3 in the Fantasy and Frames consensus rankings, which again you can find on our website fantasyandframes.com for free. Anybody have particularly strong feelings about JJ McCarthy?
Not yet.
Okay.
I will say that I've seen some clips just of his throwing, which everyone can put together a great highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
He has made some big boy throws. He really has. And, he kind of gets the short end of the stick because they didn't really need to throw the ball in Michigan because their running game was so good. So I want to watch more of him. I want to see more of these plays. I want to see how he operates under pressure. But from what I have seen, he is a very capable quarterback and can make all of the throws that you need to at the NFL level, because a lot of these less capable quarterbacks that I've seen, such as Jordan Travis, like the offense, they don't even try to throw dig routes because these quarterbacks cannot drop back and throw it to the opposite numbers from the opposite hash marks. They just don't have the arm for it. And JJ McCarthy does. So that's a big checkbox for me.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a 72.1% completion percentage. I think this ended up being like my stat. You know how like I was obsessed with like contested catch rate last year. I think completion percentage is going to be my stat this year. But it was 3rd overall out of the 2024 draft class for QBs. I like, he can scoot. He's kind of a scrambler. He's got good speed, good acceleration, very quick. I would love for him to put some more weight on. I think like what I saw was that he's 6'3", 202, which is super skinny. So if you're going to be taking hits from the big boys in the NFL, then yeah, you think you need to put on a little just more meat on your bones, I think would make me feel a little bit more comfortable. But I mean, other than that, like you said, Tara, I mean, he's accurate, low sack rate, not afraid of the big play. Like I very much enjoy JJ McCarthy. And again, just somebody I knew absolutely nothing about coming into this. And he's my 4th overall, actually, because I feel like I got gaslit into putting Drake May at number 3.
So would you say that this is JJ McCarthy from the Little Giants?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was JJ McCarthy's like childhood photo right there. I'm sure of it. You can see his ribs and everything.
He had
That's from Little Giants, right?
It is from Little Giants, the most underrated sports movie of all time.
Yes.
The annexation of Puerto Rico. Come on. Come on. Am I the only one who remembers that? Get out of here. Come on.
It's been a while.
I remember
it. Jorge, since I've seen Little Giants.
Whatever. Just whatever. Anyhow. Yeah, I love JJ McCarthy. Obviously, I have him at 3. You talk about under pressure. Well, again, I go back to these on target throws. Like he's 71.2% completion percentage. Mm-hmm. That is fantastic. On intermediate throws of 10 to 19 yards, PFF, they have this metric, and you can take this is how you will. Obviously, this is done by the stat watchers and the film watchers. They have this metric called big time throws, or it's basically a metric that looks at how well these throws get into tight windows when these receivers are in coverage. He has a big time throw percentage of 7%. The next one on our list of quarterbacks we'll be discussing is Michael Penix at 3.8. So you look at his ability to move the change. Look, the elephant in the room is Tyler, you brought it up. It's the fact that they weren't asked to throw a lot. But you put him in the right situation where he doesn't have to do everything. I think he could overachieve. And given the latest mocks that you see him going maybe to Denver or to some other teams that they may have some pieces around. I like what you're saying. The efficiency is there. The performance is there. It's just the volume has not been there. But again, what we're thinking about upside, right? And if he can do all this stuff with the opportunity he's given, especially with going into the draft with these teams that are quarterback needy, they're going to need him to up his volume. So combine that with these efficiency metrics, I'm very excited about JJ McCarthy.
Yeah. Tyler, where is he for you? Where does he come in your rankings?
He is my QB4 right now. Okay.
Yeah, that's where he's at for me too. Jorge, where is he at? He's your number 3?
Number 3, yep.
Number three. All right, so number 4, the thickest and juiciest of them all, that would be Drake May. Whatever, he's 6'4" and 230. I mean, he's like an inch and like 7 pounds away from Josh Allen. Come on, guys.
So we think.
Well, yeah, that's true. I don't know though. You look at him; he's
Yeah, I mean, he's a big guy. We'll see if he's as thick and juicy as you want him to be, Stacey.
Well, never mind.
Hey, you set yourself up for that. Don't backward now.
I did. He does look like somebody I would have had a crush on in college, though, 100%. He also looks like he would fit right in at like an Ole Miss frat party, like. And I also like just totally, again, not serious take at all. I really think that he would just like absolutely crush at the Expo beer pong competition. So if we can get him there,
that would be awesome.
Get him on Team Fantasy and Frames. We're definitely going to take home the title.
Well, I think we were like 2nd or 3rd last year in the beer pong competition.
I think so.
You can only go up there.
Only go up from there.
Heck yeah. If there's a flip cup competition, I'm in. You don't want me in beer pong.
Do we have any serious takes on Drake May?
Well, his big time throw rate is at 2.1%, which is one of the lowest, if not the lowest, of all the quarterbacks we'll be discussing today. So that's not good.
Mm-hmm. No.
Throws. Generally, you want your quarterback to be throwing on point when he's trying to move the ball down the field.
Can I tell you something real quick about that, Jorge? Like, Did you see the viral TikTok that he put out or somebody put out with him in it, like that I saw this week where he's like throwing the ball like almost like across the field and he nails like the goalpost right in the middle? Like I saw that and that was my first Drake May experience. And I thought, oh my God, like this guy, like I'm going in expecting him to be like the most accurate of all the quarterbacks that we talked about, and I was let down.
Well, I mean, under pressure, he's really good. He's kind of he has a good on target percentage when throwing the ball.
He's always under pressure.
Volume is there. 90 attempts when under pressure. High completion percentage. He ranks third in intermediate throws when it comes to first down. So the guy moves the ball down the field. It's North Carolina, like I can't get past the level of competition that he's been facing, and he's not like blowing away the competition. So for anyhow, the reason I'm saying all this is because, again, going back to it, talking about for fantasy, I'm not talking about for NFL being able to manage a team here. I mean, there's no sexy upside, especially with these landing spots. Like, if he went to Washington, okay, you have receivers there, but he goes to New England, like.
Yeah,
it's Mac Jones 2.0 all over again because you're going to surround him with nothing, and it's unfortunate there. I will say that Drake May is probably better than Mac Jones, and definitely is. But there's nothing, there's nothing sexy about this from a fantasy standpoint. But at the same time, the being under pressure and performing well, there is something to that. And again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the other quarterbacks we've been discussing, and that is these teams that are be picking at the top of the draft. These are not great teams. So if he's able to handle that, take under pressure, then, more power to him.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the YOLO is really what kind of put me off a little bit. Of him, I just, it was just way too reminiscent of like Josh Allen before he got himself under control, where, every time he throws the ball, like the offense just felt so chaotic and it felt like they were just flying by the seat of their pants all the time. Because like you said, Tyler, like they're always under pressure. And, every time like I'd see him, like he was getting tackled, he's throwing the ball across his body into traffic. And I just kept thinking like, oh my God, like if you do that in the NFL, you're going to be a turnover monster. Like that's just going to be, unacceptable once you get to the NFL level. And I mean, he gets away with it in college because, like I said, level of competition. But I mean, that's what made me so nervous about him. And the reason I said that I felt like I was getting gaslit to put him at number 3, like I just felt like all the national media stuff was so high on him that I had to like force myself to go back and like, what am I missing? Like, let me watch some highlights or something, like see if I can, so I have him at 3, but I could easily swap him and McCarthy.
Right. I see the flashes. Like I understand what the national media is talking about. Like I like Drake May. I do. He's my number 2 quarterback. But some of these games I was watching, it was kind of just frustrating. Like I was comparing it to, for the golfers out there, if you're on like a par 5, you just have this shit slice of a drive. It goes into the rough. You chunk it into a bunker. You hit this beautiful shot out of the bunker, and then you just hit a worm burner onto the fairway, onto the green somehow. That's 25 feet away, and you drain a 25-foot putt. Like it's just crap, and then these gorgeous things that happen, and it's hard to come to an outcome from that because, frankly, that team was bad.
Yeah,
he was surrounded by not good talent. He's making big boy throws. He's got a great arm. He is one of the best arms in this class, if not the best arm. So that's one of the exciting things, because a lot of these guys that are really successful are successful because of their arm talent and their arm strength, and the combination of those two. They're not mutually exclusive. You can have both, or have one, or have neither. He did take care of the ball for the most part from what I saw. Like he still had a decent amount of turnovers, but he was getting swarmed everywhere. No one was open. He was throwing the ball away often when he needed to. So it's just really difficult to make a judgment call on Drake May, and I still have him as my QB2 as of today. but we'll kind of see where that ends up.
Yeah. Kind of like Dynasty Deviant here putting in the chat, Richardson last year, it was hard because it was a bad team, at Florida. But I mean, the traits are definitely there.
Yep. He's by far the most traitsy of everyone in this class. Yeah. Big, tall, strong, big arm, big fast. Got a real thick arm.
Oh my God.
Wow. I don't like the way you said that.
We were all thinking it. Don't stop.
We were. It's Sir Mix-a-Lot. We like him real thick and juicy. Oh, speaking. Time to move on. Bo Nix comes in at number 5 consensus ranking. Jorge, you had him at 6. Drew had him at 5. I think he's going to be a great backup quarterback in the NFL. What do you guys think?
So how do I put this?
Is it a loss for work?
He's very much like a JJ in that he performs very well under pressure. He does move the chains a lot in 10 to 19 yard increments here. He's right behind Michael Penix, and that's Penix. I like saying Penix. I'm not going to stop saying Penix. Michael Penix in this category, even though his name is Penix. Yes, I do understand that. He doesn't allow a lot of pressures. So the thing is that he's not that he had not shown at Oregon that he is that great making plays down the field. Everything is very short to intermediate or just short passes. And then his playmakers
on short yardage, 81% there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you have players like Troy Franklin who are great at yards after the catch, go out and make the play. So the question is landing spot. If he's in a landing spot where these players, he has enough skill players around him, I think he could be a serviceable quarterback with high upside. But again, he's one of those quarterbacks who I think is probably one of the most landing spot dependent quarterbacks in this draft.
Yeah. Tyler, you feel any different about Mr. Nix?
I don't. He's very landing spot dependent. I think he can operate an offense. I think he's proven that at Oregon. I don't think he's going to elevate an offense.
Yeah.
So we'll see where he ends up. I think he could potentially start in the league for a few years, but he's not going to be a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. Always.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we talked about, like backup QB is literally the best job in the world. So if you can lock that down, if you can make that happen, do it. All right. Calvin has a real quick question here we're going to get to before we talk about our 6, 7, and 8 quarterbacks, because those guys are all pretty close to, I think, have the same traits, I think, that we're going to chat with them. So Calvin recently traded his 24 103 away for the 106, 205, and 210. Thoughts? His team kind of sucks, hence he has the overall 103. So he needed some depth. Calvin, are we giving you, or do you want our blessing on this? Because I feel like that's probably
no. It's just asking our thoughts. I mean, I think the background is it super flex, which it seems to be.
That would be Calvin. If you can put the format in.
Yeah, let us know what the initially speaking though. Yeah, I'm given the talent that you can find at the wide receiver position specifically. I'm loving the accumulation of second round picks. And you're only going 3 spots down. So what are you really hurting now? Thank you for saying it's super flex. Now, if you're quarterback needy, then that's a different story. But I think the skill players you could pick up here outweigh the loss of potentially not having that second consistent quarterback.
Yep. Yeah, I like it.
Yep. Good job. Good job, Calvin. That was a great trade. Keep it up. All right. So number 6, real quick, guys. 6, we've got Michael Penix. 7, we've got Spencer Rattler. And rounding out number 8, Sam Hartman, who probably is a little bit further down, but we're only ranking 8 of these guys tonight. I'm just really concerned about Michael Penix's injury. I mean, like, he had 4 seasons that were ended with season-ending injuries, like 2 ACL tears, 2 shoulder issues, different shoulders, same ACL was torn both times. I don't know how this dude is still getting out there and playing, but like, I mean, good for him, but man, that would worry me if I was an NFL team.
Honestly, I have him at 5.
Ooh.
He could very well jump up to 4 from a fantasy standpoint. If he, let's say, for example, a team like Atlanta takes a chance on him, I am like all aboard the Michael Penix bandwagon there. But just because he's really good at, making these, well-placed throws down the field. He does make the splash play. At Washington, yes, when he was, what was it? He was at Wisconsin or some Big Ten school where he had those ACL.
Indiana and Washington, yeah.
But since he went to Washington, he's been more, better at, avoiding pressures.
Not getting shit kicked out of him every single snap by all the good teams in the Big Ten.
Thank goodness too, because he might break.
But
it again.
He screams to me somebody who is a streaming quarterback with upside.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Michael Penix. I can't say it. I can't do it. Jorge, I'm sorry.
I can't do it. I've typoed the X and the S too much. I'm not taking that risk.
Autocorrect is
just leave it in the articles going forward.
He's my QB5. I like him. He has really nice arm strength. He can hit some guys down the field really well with accuracy. He has some deficiencies with throwing the ball accurately short and moving around in the pocket. So we'll see. He's my QB5. I like him a little bit better than Bo Nix.
Yeah. And we know you guys want to get to that mock draft with Fourth and Frames here in the next few minutes. So we're not going to spend a ton of time on Spencer Rattler and Sam Hartman. I know you guys are all heartbroken over that. Talk to me, Tyler. You've got an interesting take on Spencer Rattler. We'll take him first, and then we'll wrap the show with the prettiest QB in the group.
Well, we're going to wrap the show with the prettiest QB in the group and start with the most unfortunate looking one. Spencer Rattler has a lot. He's a toolsy quarterback. He's got a strong arm. I think he can be a productive backup in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So we'll see about him. Sam Hartman, on the other hand, I'm not going to talk about what kind of tools he has. You can go ahead, Stacey.
I wish that I could, that I was qualified to talk about the kind of tools that Sam Hartman has. Take that however you want, guys. But I'm not. So let me just put that out there. But Sam, though, if you're listening, I don't know if you like older women or not, but hit me up. Spencer Rattler, I gotta tell you guys, like, I know that he kind of like thought, like a little bit. He does. Oh my God, he does look like Riley Curry. Oh my God, Chris. Oh my God, he does. Spencer Rattler does look like Riley Curry. I don't know what that says about either one of them, but I didn't like, because I know that Spencer Rattler's like, he started off like, went into the season in 2021 as like this Heisman candidate, right? And then like he's just kind of not done very well after that. But when I looked at his film, I was like, I don't dislike him. Like he seems like, like he's a pretty good quarterback. I will tell you though, while I was watching his 2020 game against Texas Tech, now this was back when he was with Oklahoma, I saw him throw this bomb and his wide receiver dropped it and it would have been like an absolute walk-in touchdown. And I immediately was like, that wide receiver totally just bungled that. And then I realized who that wide receiver was, who was my favorite last year, who went to Oklahoma.
Marvin Mims?
It was Marvin Mims. And then I immediately was like, oh, Rattler, that was a trash throw. Like, come on, you got to do better than that. So... but yeah, I mean, like he's quick, he can accelerate, he had a really good completion percentage as well. He did take a lot of sacks, I think he, out of this group, had the most sacks. Caleb Williams had the second after that. But he's not lighting the field on fire when he's running, but he's definitely not the slowest guy out there. So I don't really get like where all the hate was coming from with him, but Senior Bowl MVP, Spencer Rattler.
Good for him, man. Yeah, I mean, he's got the ability to be a good quarterback.
He doesn't play well under pressure. I don't know. I'm going to take the exit ramp here with him. So
yeah, not great. poor Sam Hartman. Man. So Wake Forest and then Notre Dame, where he ended. I just thought that he was really slow. And the odds are like if he tries to take off running, he's gonna get taken down like immediately. And it just wasn't like I didn't see like a lot of athleticism. Like this made me really sad to watch because obviously you guys know I'm a big fan of Sam Hartman. But it's kind of like, when you meet somebody out in the wild who's just like a total smoke show, and you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm talking to this really hot person. And then they open their mouth and they just ruin it. Right. That's what it was like watching Sam Hartman's film for me. Was I went in like, oh, Sam Hartman, and then I was like, oh, Sam Hartman. Yeah. So he's out of the ones that we've watched tonight, he would be my 8th, although there's probably some other guys that we could put in between there once we, kind of get into some more quarterback film watching.
Exactly. And of course, don't forget to check out our profiles as we get closer to the draft for these rookies and where they land eventually. And Sam Hartman, you bastard. So yeah, exactly.
Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with all of us tonight. Thank you for everybody in the chat, guys. Remember, we are going to be back next week with some combine recap. Follow all of us on Twitter. You can follow Tyler at FF Tyler Howell. You can follow Jorge down at Jorge B. Edwards. I am at Stacey_Perez 83. Guys, Michael Bauer is in the chat over here. He's really excited to see a shirtless Tyler Howell during this mock draft next hour. So, guys, if you are here, go ahead and jump on into the 4th and Frames to stream and make sure that you have hit and subscribe to us here at Fantasy in Frames, and we will see you next week.